Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this presentation of our broadcast here in the Issues Room. Today is the 27th day of August, and it's 2024. Volcano Shelton here with you this evening on this 257th broadcast. We're coming your way from the East Coast of the United States of America, precisely Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'd like to welcome you wherever you are, picking up signal anywhere in the world. We say thank you for joining us here tonight. We anticipate a good show. We want you to please share our link, invite others to join us here. We'll be here for a little over an hour and a half. Broadcast is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. in those countries within the Greenwich time zone. Of course, if you look underneath me, as you can see on the running board, we will be going once a week starting September 15th. It's on the Sunday at 3 p.m. In the U.S. Eastern Standard Time, and in Liberia will be 7 p.m. And then if we go into the winter season, the time will change to 8 p.m. for Liberia. We are going live once a week because, again, we have looked at our schedules and it's been very difficult. This is almost another full-time job that we have to deal with, and so it has been very hard to get the team in studios on time. And so we wanted to just look at it from the perspective of, instead of throwing the towel, we can continue to reach our folks and keep the platform going. September 14 will be our third anniversary. Again, we want to thank all of you who have been there with us over the years for your viewership. We pray that you will be around. We want to take this thing further, and so we'll be here in the meantime. But again, thank you so much. I know that even for you to find time to join us, there are a lot of competing priorities, things in your own life. Sometimes you sneak in places at work just to listen, not just to our platform, but everyone now has a talk show. Everyone is discussing Liberia, and it's a good thing that everyone is involved. But you will make the judgment as to what you think you want to hear and what type of conversation is being held, and whether it's savory to your ear. And so we just ask you to share our link, to join us in the Issues Room. This is where we discuss the things that matter to Liberia, that matter to the African continent, and that matter to the diaspora. And of course, Liberia has transitioned into a new era. And I say a new era because of the leadership in the country. We have a new president, Boakai, who took power on January 22nd this year. And everything is now rosy. A lot's been going on, and lately there have been a few protests, and it has drawn attention. So at this point, our conversation tonight will focus more on the letter written by the Congress for Democratic Change, which is the opposition political party to the current leading party, Unity Party. Because there was something that took place last Thursday with regards to, a skirmish, I'll put it that way, between the supporters at the headquarters and the security apparatus. So it's kind of been a rocky ride over the last several days. In fact, the president was not in the country, meaning President Boakai. He had come to the U.S., particularly Atlanta, Georgia, to speak. He was asked to be the keynote speaker at the National Black Business Convention, something that has taken place for more than 100 years. So he was in Atlanta to address that body, to make the case for Liberia, that Liberia is open for business. He mentioned some things with regards to electricity, with regards to road network, agriculture, tourism, and those were some of the things he was selling so that Black investors can come to Liberia and see where they can throw, the net with regards to boosting our economy. Because what we find is that in Liberia, customarily there has been only one major employer, and that major employer has been the government. Uh, During the pre-war and the good old days when Liberia's GDP was about $1 billion, there were a lot of companies in the country, and people were employed in the private sector. But since the Civil War in 1989, many of those businesses packed up and left. Some were looted, some went bankrupt. And so, as a result, uh, the government in its formation has tried to kind of absorb the workforce, and bringing in people in government from all sectors, and especially in political seasons where we are now. Political parties will kind of focus more on the partisans and give them jobs, and this has been the strain on the country's development. The government major line item in its national budget is salary, barely nothing for social services, barely nothing for education, barely nothing for policing, barely nothing for development. So everything is like we just running a country only to pay people, and sometimes the people you're paying are ghosts. Some of them are going to work, but only clocking in for 2 hours and to go for the rest of the day. Some of them don't even go. Some of them take long leaves of absence and they still get a full salary. So a lot of things has been happening, and is killing our country's growth. And I believe that the most important thing here is that when all of us see these things and come together to talk about them and strategize on how we can change the country's image. The last broadcast, I talked about two things here. I talked about the country's image being damaged and the country being rotten. And the country rottenness is the acute corruption, the ingrained corruption in the society, and is being damaged is based on the image we portray. And so all of these what you call riots here and there, where people are so disrespectful and disregard the rule of law, and want to challenge the sitting government, want still disgruntled over the laws of elections, don't want to listen. People are threatening. People are talking about if this happens again, then the repercussion will not be good. And all of the hardcore way of being and challenging is not helping. It's not helping, because at the end of the day, all of the loots that the previous governments and the cronies and the close associates looted. One thing about money, it doesn't last if you don't know how to reinvest. Just last broadcast here, we were looking at Akaris Gray. Have you seen him lately? Have you seen Jefferson Koji? These are guys who were untouchable in the last 6 years. Some of the colleagues did well with the stolen wealth, the loots and the gains. But what happened to these guys? Were they banking on 12 years? Were they thinking that they will change the Constitution to get 18 years and 24 years and so forth? So all of these things are critical. We can't continue to have, to do these things and think that people will come to our country. You're not hurting Boakai. Boakai is a 79, 80-year-old man who's just trying to build a legacy for himself, who's just trying to shape the country up. So you're the young people who running in the street, and not easy, and not easy, and not easy. It's not easy because you're making it not easy. You are the one who are making it not easy. If you were going to school, if you were using your time wisely, by the time you get to a place where you grown up enough, you'll be an asset. But all you do, wake up in the morning, put on a t-shirt and a western unity, and you go running in the street. It's not easy because some politician fools you, bring you out there and make you a zombie, political zombie, I called you, because a zombie is not able and capable of thinking for themselves. So you become a political zombie used by politicians all over the place. And then what happens? You waste your time, you waste your future, and not just your future. Some of you are adults, but you still think you're youth. You still think you're youth, right? So you're in a youth mindset. But what you're doing, you're wasting your future and your children's future and your children's children's future. And so it becomes a ripple effect. And this has to stop. So when we come here and talk about these things, we're not talking because we hate CDC or we hate George Weah or we in love with Joseph Boy. I'm not in love with nobody. I'm in love with the Republic of Liberia because at least I'm grown enough to know where this country was, where it has come, and where it is capable of going. And as I continue in Alphonso, so he knows that I am in my zone. I wasn't feeling good, but now I'm feeling good, Alfonso. And it's just sad. It's just a sad situation for our country. Everything is politicized. The country is more political than economical. The country is more political and divided than development. The country is more political and divided and corrupted and rotting and damaged, and nobody gives a damn about putting this country back on its foot. Everybody just sit there because, oh yes, you have your house, you build a big house, you're in the fence, and you got your generator, your little loot you steal or stole rather, you can utilize it and you live like you live in America, and so you're complacent. At the end of the day, and I'll say this before you come in, a quick intro. Samuel Jackson, a man who I believe is educated, but sometimes he talks out of his head. I don't think he processes what he says. He said tonight on the Spoon Talk that Boakai has more to lose than George Weah. So Boakai should be waving the olive branch. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this old man and I'm asking myself, how can Boakai have more to lose when Boakai has just become president, when Boakai has not stolen his first $1 million, neither his second $1 million, neither his $10 million, but we are who got 49 million, who flies a private jet, who has a Jamaica resort, who has a 9th Street resident, who has many other things. And you're threatening that you break the peace today and you go to war, that Boakai has more to lose, or it is the CDC, the past immediate government that just left power, considering the voluminous amount of loot. We are making noise, my man, quick. But the voluminous amount of stuff they've done to take away from the country. Who's ready to lose? I know you want to come in with your hello, my people, but when latecomers come, you just go in and lecture from where it started. Who got more to lose? That's the question. Sam Jackson said Boakai has more to lose. I want us to start on that. Who has more to lose? Weah or Boakai?
I think Sam Jackson missed the point, and I think even the question of whether the person who has more to lose is Weah or Boakai
It's all of us.
also misses the point. The point here is not whether Boakai has more to lose or Weah has more to lose. The point is what's right. What's the right thing to do? Why should we even create or allow a situation that disadvantages anybody or that puts anybody in a losing or point to happen? Why should we even undermine the peace of the country, create chaos, because somehow we believe that this group will lose or that other group will lose? Everybody loses in a conflict situation. Everybody does. There were people, we had a civil war. Everybody knows. There were people who were in favor of the civil war and there were people who were against the civil war. But I can tell you that both sides suffered equally. Equally. People who were against the civil war, they were killed. People who were for the civil war were also killed. Everybody today doesn't have electricity. Everybody today doesn't have safe drinking water. Everybody today doesn't have adequate health care. Everybody today doesn't have education, and on and on and on. So somehow that argument that if we disrupt the peace of the country, if we create conflict and investors do not come into the country, and there's no security in the country, that is this group that will lose or this one person that will lose more than the other people, I think it's insane. It's a stupid argument for anybody to make. What we should be doing and telling people is let's not disrupt the peace of the country. Let's not create crisis or problem. Whether it's John who loses shouldn't be the point. And why should John even lose in the first place? Why shouldn't we all work together to maintain peace and promote development? And when I came in, Volcano, you were in your monologue, you were saying something. When business people do not come in a country,
Easy,
when
easy.
businesses
Real
close,
Real says bro starting a fight tonight. He calling us the rescue room. Then he say, oops, the issue room. Real said, bro, I will deal with you. Let
yeah,
it put a finger.
yeah. So if businesses do not come in a country, if the businesses that are there now leave because of insecurity, you think Boakai is the one that will lose? If there's 5 cents left in the country, Boakai will be the last person, and his family will be the last person to eat that 5 cents. If that 5 bagger are in the country, all the 5 bagger will be taken to Boakai house to eat. We saw it during the war.
Yeah.
Samuel Doe stayed in the executive mansion.
Well, feeling
Thousands of people were killed before they got to Samuel Doe. So it's not so it's a stupid argument. But I want to give you and Moses the chance to go on. But I think it's a stupid argument. That's I don't listen to Samuel Jackson anyway because I think he says dumb things sometimes.
go ahead, Moses.
Yeah, look, let me just add on to what Alfonso said, and I will begin with Omer Samuel Jackson. And I don't mean to put him down, but I think the Omer has outlived his usefulness. He says some things that are absolutely preposterous, and he's so desperate for political handouts. So he goes on this platform and just says some silly stuff. If anything happens in our country today, everybody stands the risk of losing a lot. Business people, the ordinary people, just from the experience of what we saw 14 years of civil war. People who were even jubilating. There were people that were literally, praying every day for the rebels to enter the country. And when those guys entered Monrovia, they were the first to go. They killed people indiscriminately. So everyone stands the risk of losing. For Mr. Weir, he just need to be mindful because I think I tend to agree with George Volcano on that. Yes, people will die, other people will get affected, but George Weah will take a significant hit. He stole a lot of money. It's public record. What do you think will happen with the 9th Street residence that has now become a mini mansion? What do you think will happen to that? What will happen to the 49, condominiums that he put up? What do you think will happen to what he called the quote unquote Jamaica, right? What's this place name? Where he goes to socialize.
Jamaica Resort.
Yeah, the Jamaica Resort. What do you think gonna happen to that? All of those places will be vandalized. They will become places that war criminals will go to. So, Mr. We should just do everything he can to make sure that there's peace in our country.
And I,
All Liberians, not
yeah,
only Mr. Weah,
yeah,
all Liberians,
yeah, and all of us will suffer.
yes, should
The
work in
diaspora,
unison. Yes,
the neighboring countries, the international community around us, our neighbors, uh, the United Nations will be thinking again, what's wrong with these stupid people? We just put together the biggest peacekeeping force. Why are they not able to sustain the peace? Yeah, because we had 12 years of a bad government that didn't really rehabilitate the young people, create opportunities for them to be useful citizens. And as a result, here we are. So what did they do for themselves? They got rich. But if that, you see, the problem here with Liberia is so unfortunate, Moses, that these people steal from the people and want to live among them and enjoy the loot.
of course.
And what makes them to think that this will be perpetual? At some point, the people will revolt. They will revolt through the ballot box. And when they revolt through the ballot box, take it like a man. Take it like a man. They didn't have to go throwing rocks. They didn't have to go waging war, cutlasses and machetes and stuff to run you out. They went to the ballot box. I've never seen no heat like I saw on October 10. Moses Sandy, I was in Liberia for that elections covering it. And on October 10th, by 8 o'clock, I was soaking wet.
People showing the
People
numbers.
stayed until after 6 to 7 in the night. So people were resolved. They saw your loots. They saw how you and your cronies were living large and absolutely decided that enough is enough. But yeah,
Mhm.
what Samuel L. Jackson said, or Samuel Jackson, I'll keep calling him L, the actor. But
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson said something I want to add so you can. He said
Mhm.
President Boakai should be magnanimous. He should be the one giving the olive. People lost the election. You don't think they're feeling disgruntled? So he should be pacifying the people. He used the word pacify.
Pacify oh,
Eh,
people who are determined to cause chaos.
But no, no, no. My thought here is how do you pacify looters? How do you pacify criminals? How do you pacify people who have not been so contrite about what they've done to their own country? How do you pacify those kinds of people? Alfonso, how do you?
I wish Samuel Jackson had given detail in terms of how he think people should be pacified. I don't think President Boakai and the Boakai administration are going around town grabbing and beating people because they lost the election, or standing on Broad Street or getting on the radio and insulting people. Oh, you're lost or whatever, blah blah blah. What the administration has been doing so far, which I believe the majority of the Liberian people support, is going after, as you said, looters, people who looted the coffers of that country. And there's no pacification of those people, and there should be no pacifying of anybody who looted the resources of that country. One thing Mr. Samuel Jackson, Mr. Rivers says pro, and everybody should understand, people who steal from the national coffers are killing, murdering babies in their mother's womb, killing pregnant women when there's no medicine in a clinic in Riverside County, or no clinic or no doctor, and a pregnant woman goes to give birth and she dies. It's because that politician stole the money that should have built the clinic in that place, or that should have sent a doctor there. If a student can read at a certain grade level, I was watching something on Facebook yesterday. There's a town in River G County called Yuba. There's one teacher. He's the principal, he's the assistant principal, he's the registrar, he's the only teacher. He teaches from ABC straight through sixth grade. If it's because a politician fails to put a system in place or steals the money that's supposed to train teachers and send them over there and pay them, that politician is harming the future of those young people, the future of their children and their children's children, and damaging the country. How do we pacify such a person? You guys need to understand this. This is not even partisan politics. This is just being evil to say that people should come and loot the country and steal and become millionaires overnight and flaunt their wealth in the faces of people, but the people must still sit down and fold their arms and say we'll not go after them. Mr. Boakai, and we are talking nonsense about, oh, you don't have what mandate, absolute
Mandate, the
mandate.
political mandate, yeah.
First of all, President Boakai has a mandate. We have an election process. Our election process, first round, you must get 50% plus one. If you don't get 50%, you go to second round. When you go to second round, it becomes simple majority. It doesn't matter whether you won by 5 million votes or you won by 10 votes, you have won and you have the political mandate. We do not have a power sharing arrangement in Liberia where Mr. Boakai will go ask Mr. Weah, 5 million, 10 million people voted for you. So let me ask you what you want me to do. Do you approve me raiding ghettos of drugs? Do you approve me building roads? No. Mr. Boakai doesn't have that obligation. Mr. Weah didn't do that. He didn't go to all the other political parties he beat when he won the election to ask them for every single policy he implemented. There's not a power sharing arrangement. So I don't know what Riverside Pro and Mr. Samuel Jackson and George Weah mean by you must be magnanimous and there will be power sharing. That doesn't make sense to me.
All right, go take care.
Yeah, I'm
Go
thinking,
ahead, Moses.
yeah, don't say maybe I got a toy, yeah. But look, on a serious note, again, oh man, Sam Johnson, he disappoints, I mean, Sam Jackson, he disappoints Liberians on a regular basis. Volcano, I don't understand when the old man say that President Boakai and the UP should be magnanimous. I don't know his definition of magnanimity, you know. Because if you try to go after people who did something that undermine the peace and stability of the country, undermine the country's economy, and you just asking questions, nobody has gone to prison. This administration has now sent anybody to prison because you are found you guilty, even though people are being arrested and sent to prison. But those people are still going through what? The investigation process, right? So if somebody is trying to do that to probe into what the previous administration did, what's the witch hunt? It's like any of us, you take over a new organization as, say, you the executive director or you one of the top managers. Don't you think it make a lot of sense to review the records, at least give you a frame of mind as to how to move the organization forward? That's what the people are doing. They see something, they say, oh, man, Volcano meant to write 5 year, but we notice that he wrote 20. But man, even though the men are with us now, boy, you're trying to reach out to the men. Let me just come and explain this. What's evil about that? And somebody said the people not being magnanimous.
Yeah.
Eh?
Uh,
Look, let me give you a typical example. Like what happened at the CDC headquarters. Volcano on that day, people going to work. One of the bosses owned by the telecommunication authority, the guys on the bus, people threw stone. I think what 3 persons got wounded. People who left home that morning going to work. They had nothing. Nothing else. The only crime they committed was that they were on a bus and they were heading to work. People breaking the laws of the country with impunity. And when someone goes after them, then you say, oh, well, you're not treating the people with magnanimity. What else do you want these people to do? When Mr. Weah was president, when the auditors went missing, did you see Liberians getting in the street and say, oh, well, we want Mr. Weah to welcome? Did he not disparagingly refer to the female and the other gentlemen that their remains were found on Broad Street? Did he not say that those people were uh, intimately involved? Did he not say that? Where's the witch hunt? And he makes this silly argument. And in fact, all the CDC people make this silly argument. Oh, well, Liberia is divided, the country is divided, the country is divided because Omer Joseph Baga uh, won the election with less than 20,000 votes. But let's do some logical thinking here. You spend over $50 million. The other mayor referred to his party as being broke. You said the old man was broke. He had no money. They made video. They spent less than $500,000 Volcano. They beat you.
so let's come to it now
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
as
let's look at the letter from the coalition. Go
so
ahead.
as a result of all of this,
Yeah.
um, with all the threats and all the noise making from the CDC camp,
Mhm.
led by his Secretary General, if he still is,
Yeah.
Jefferson Koji, who said,
Jefferson Koji.
you know, uh, the situation will not go uh,
Upon the
unaddressed. So,
yeah.
as part of what they were planning, he said they were going to meet with a political leader and da 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 da. And all we saw was a letter sent by the coalition to the economic community of West African states.
Echo.
Um, Alfonso, I know that you have the letter there if you can, but I have it here, and we can go paragraph by paragraph
Yeah,
until
let's
we find it.
yeah.
So he wrote to Omar Aliyu Toure, who is the president of the commission. Um, and this letter went to Abuja, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on the 23rd of August 2024. He says, Mr. President, I write to draw your attention and through you, the authority of heads of state, to an unprovoked attack on the headquarters of our political institution, the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, by Liberian security forces under the dubious, and I want us to pick up some critical words here,
Yeah.
dubious guise of effecting a drug raid. This premeditated and callous act of violence targeted at the country's me opposition political party is the latest in the series of actions by the Boakai administration to trample upon the political freedoms, disregard the laws of the land, undermine democracy, and stoke tension in the country. Paragraph 1.
That's
Let's start with that.
yeah. That discusses in segments like you said. He said that the raid executed by the LDA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, was a dubious attempt to attack the headquarters of the CDC. Where are the facts? How can Mr. Weir convince ECOWAS that the operation executed by the LDA was targeted at the headquarters of the CDC? Where are the facts? Because there are records that show that the LDA obtained a search and seizure warrant.
Disregard the warrant. Disregard the warrant.
Yes.
They did not even go armed. They
No.
didn't even have batons. They felt, back in the day, they say the man in uniform, you can't fight him. And the man said they went away. And they
You
felt,
forgot that policing has changed, yeah?
they said, oh, that the officer, you fighting, oh, you holding my uniform?
Yes, say my man, leave the man uniform. Yeah. Yeah.
They went there taking that way. And the
Mhm.
people say, oh, hey, can you with your empty hand? So what happened was they chased them and they ran
Out of
into
the-
the compound
yeah.
and the CDC people didn't jump on them. So police were not even around at the time. So how could this be a dubious situation and a guys to attack the
The
compound?
CDC headquarters.
Instead of you, the seditious, will say, "Oh, what do you call
LDA.
LDA officials? Let's try to protect them and do something to protect them." You didn't do it. You jump on and start stooning. The ECOWAS, not ECOWAS, the Mano River chapter of the young people we brought on last week said they did a thorough investigation. And there was nothing dubious about it. So I just wanted to clarify that as you continue, Moses, before I
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. You see, this is the kind of conversation that I'd like to hold. When people make, loose comments in the absence of evidence, this is how you hold their feet to the fire. You said this was dubious. Help us understand what made it dubious. Because these people went to court. They secured a search and seizure warrant. So it means that the action going out in that community is considered what? Legal. And you telling us it is not legal. It was intended to witch hunt you. Where are the facts? Let me give it to you, Alphonso, so you can come in.
And the search mission did not start in CDC's compound.
No.
It started on the outskirts.
It went- Mhm.
It was within the vicinity. So are you telling me law enforcement cannot come around the vicinity, or law enforcement still does not have the right to come in the CDC compound?
Of
If
course not.
going on and they're killing somebody or they're beating on somebody because the person say I'm leaving the CDC. Nobody
Yeah.
should go there to save that. What type of country is this? Go ahead.
So precisely my point. 2 points I want to make. Number one, CDC owns no territory in that country.
Absolutely.
CDC owns no territory for the government to go and ask them permission before they go anywhere when they feel that a crime is in the process of being committed. Two, They did not go to CDC headquarters. They went to an environment, to a community outside the CDC headquarters. So they owe the CDC no explanation. I've heard some people say, oh, at least they should have told the CDC leadership, whatever. And I said, what's wrong with you? Law enforcement going to enforce an action
Yeah.
and they teleguide it.
Mhm.
What if they call Koji and tell and say, oh, we're going around CDC headquarters, we're going to do a drug raid, and Koji go tell the drug people who sell and
Yeah,
say,
so
oh,
all the
the
people
people
come here.
coming.
But,
Few
but,
things
but
could,
what if that Finabondo drug people?
yeah, exactly. Few things could happen. Those people could hide the drugs and run away
Of
and go
course.
sell it in different communities.
Mhm.
Those people could set ambush for the LDA officers and kill them along the way before they even get there.
But Alfonso, all raids are surreptitious.
Exactly.
Of course.
And if we do it with CDC, should we do it with ANC? So wherever the ANC office located, if we want to
Yeah,
go do a drug
without
arrest,
seek
then we
permission.
call the
Yeah.
ANC leadership and tell them, oh, we're coming to your place.
Yeah.
Should we
Okay.
do it to Alcop? Should we do it to everybody? Then where is law enforcement? And what is it that we're doing here? That's the first thing. The second thing is Mr. Weir must understand that Liberia is a sovereign country which is a member of ECOWAS. ECOWAS doesn't run Liberia. Liberia has laws and it operates under the laws of the country of Liberia. If Mr. Weir feels that his rights or the rights of any of his people are violated, we have courts. You go to court. You don't run to ECOWAS. ECOWAS has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the government of Liberia issuing a writ to go
But
search
Liberia is
for
not a
anyway.
war.
Yeah, and Liberia is not a war. So
Yeah.
ECOWAS is not coming to intervene and say how your LDA operating can explain that to us or whatever. So I think Mr. Weir's entire letter, the idea of even writing to ECOWAS is why I want to attack here. That it makes no sense. If Mr. Weir truly believes that the rights of his party or his rights were violated, we have the court system. Interestingly, a lot of the people, a lot of judges at the court were appointed even before the Boakai administration took over. Many of them were appointed by Mr. Weir. Let him go to the court. Mr. Weir administration took people to those same courts before those same judges and justices. Is it today that they are going there now that they don't have confidence in those judges and in those justices? These guys are trying to create an environment that's create a situation that suggests that there's no security, there's no safety in the country, so they can then argue, you see, Boakai administration failed, no investors, no jobs, no this, they can't do development. That is their aim, and also protect some of the people who stole a lot of money. They didn't give them fast, and by the way, but they're coming back with crumbs to fool the children to say, oh, this thing is not about us. It's about all of us, all CDC people. No, the Boakai administration, as far as I know, is not going after the entire CDC. It's going after corrupt government officials. Those officials are coming back to make it appear like there is a fight between the Unity Party and CDC as a way of getting support of the rank and file CDC members. The government didn't indict the 2,000 people or the 2 million people who are members of CDC. The government so far has indicted only 4 officials of government who say stole money. So, but again, as has been the case in Liberia, people steal money, people do wrong. Then they fool the people who don't have anything, who can't understand, and bring them and use them like cannon fodder. And it's important for us to continue to make that distinction. That no Samuel Tuel, who came and became a millionaire and bought a mansion in Abidjan and mansion in America and mansion while you still in the slum and sleeping in the graveyard, is the one we are going after, not you. The government, unfortunately, is not doing a very good job at making that distinction.
But let's come to the point here, since we're still in the lane of the
Yeah.
right and all of the precipitating factors that led to it. Let's understand, Alfonso and Moses here, that the morning of McGill going
Yeah.
to the LAC or LACC rather,
Yeah.
he didn't go with his wife. He didn't go with the kids. He left them home in the comfort of their sleep beds. He left them home. He left all of his relatives home. They didn't go there to stand and block the gate. It was the people that was dragged there,
From Nuclear Town,
parents,
West Point.
wherever they came from,
Hmm.
the young people who should have been in school or prepping for school because school started already. And they just left them there to languish because he got in his big SUV BMW.
BMW.
He and his man, Serena's boys of the same feather flock together, and they drove away.
Yeah.
And how they left, how they walked by a line, counted the light pole.
They were on
It
there.
was, it one out you know say God, with God.
Really, oh my God, right?
So,
Imagine like all of the play on your own.
so what makes these people so naive, so myopic in the way they see things? The same man who said, but we steal the money that bad thing we're doing, and we're billing and we're leaving it right here, and my get die, and the house will stay here. But the house that my get built is not you. It's not yours,
you.
rather. It's not for your community. McGill built his property. He has a deed. He's going to leave his will to his children, his stolen wealth to his family. So, what more should we say to the Liberian people? What more should we say to a River Says Pro? What more should we say to a Samuel Jackson? What more should we say to an Isaac Doe? What more should we say to a Finda Bundle, to a Colasco, to a Jefferson Koji, to a Samuel Toer, to a Serena Cephas, to a Nathaniel McGill? What more should we say to you people? This is about the country. This is about what you've done to the country. What more should we say to you, George Weah? Claire Weah, what more should we say to you? What more should we say to your brother and Weah brother-in-law Duncan, who took gold out of our country? What more should we say? This is not about CDC. CDC is a political institution to last. But at some point now, CDC needs to recluse itself from all of this and let those individuals who are bad apples within the party stand for themselves.
Of course.
You don't take a whole party down the drain based on the criminality of other people, based on the lootings of other people. And here you are now. Oh, breaking news. They have given them an eviction notice to leave.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So that where the heck they're gonna go? I'm sure they shouldn't take them on GSA Road because I don't want no era.
You want people blocking your road, right?
Get around in GSA Road. Let them go to Jamaica Resort or somewhere. But here's now the very party you continue to make noise about. There's one major artery that leads to our capital city, that leads to all of our functionaries. You block it, you throw stone, you cause chaos. Now we are evicting you. When I say we, meaning
Yeah. The
action
property owners. Yeah.
have led to that.
Mhm.
And the more you continue to do that, who said they couldn't throw fire and burn the people's property? You took the people's property, then you want to misuse it. So, gentlemen, this is the situation.
Yeah, they're making it a haven. And I will compare that to what happened, I believe, in 1998 or 97 when Roosevelt Johnson and his people were on Camp Johnson Road
Yeah.
and treating it as a totally different
A
country.
different.
In
country,
as
yeah.
much as I was opposed to Mr. Taylor, Mr. Taylor was the president of the day. You don't control as a warlord or any one group try to control a part of the country. The government has jurisdiction over the entire country.
Country.
So you don't go there and say, this is our place. You don't come here. That's wrong. And you asked a question earlier concerning whether or not the government can even enter CDC headquarters. Yes,
Of course,
the government can enter CDC headquarters anywhere in the country when they believe that a crime is in action. And one journalist and myself were going back and forth on Facebook about this, and I was shocked that this quote unquote top journalist didn't even
journalist doesn't know that.
understand these concepts. The top journalist also said that he did law enforcement, he did law courses, and what, and couldn't even understand
But doesn't he know that when a
that
crime
what
is
the
being
Constitution,
committed?
yeah, exactly, that what Article 21 of the Constitution says, you need a warrant if there's a reasonable whatever. However, there's a conjunction that says, however, if law enforcement believes that there's a crime in action,
Somebody will come out.
or in hot pursuit. Somebody they run beyond like what happened around CDC, and then the people who they went to arrest run into CDC headquarters, for example. That's hot pursuit. You don't sit and say, let me go wake a Josh up
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me get warrant before I come in such a place. That even though I hear a woman crying in the fence, say, my people, they killing me, you can't. Then say, no, let me go find Josh and get warrant before I come. No, a crime. It's in action. You can go there. Or in hot pursuit, you can go there. CDC headquarters, that's another element. There's no expectation of privacy. It's not a private residence. One of the reasons why we have search warrant is because you want to. The law provides that people' privacy must be protected. But you can't stay in a public place and say, "Oh, I got privacy here." No, there's no expectation of privacy under the law. That's why you put your backpack on your back and you go join the train on the subway. The police announce we can search backpacks and everything at any time. They're not going to look for such warrant before they do that. Unfortunately, these concepts are somewhat complicated, and some of these children don't understand, and they just run around and make noise. But
Let's
I
go
just want to throw light on that.
go back to the letter.
Yeah, the letter, yeah.
Let's go back to
No,
the
oh,
letter.
no, last letter,
So
yeah.
let me add a letter back to
You want to do the second paragraph?
Uh,
yeah,
what?
this month. The one that says earlier this month.
Yeah.
I can read it. That's
All
fine.
right. Earlier this month, on August 5th, 2024, the nation witnessed a similar police action, again targeted at the headquarters of the CDC, where they illegally breached the entry to the compound while heavily armed. As former leaders of the country, we know that these brazen acts of aggression are under the instruction of President Joseph Boakai himself, who has said that he intends to diminish the CDC's ability to mount any meaningful political fight in the future.
Listen to this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
As a former leader myself, I know it is Joseph Boakai. So you're telling me that all the other things that were happening on you, you are aware, and
yeah,
all the things that were going on, you had your stamp on it. So now you assume that Boakai is doing same. Isn't that a pure confession, gentlemen?
I mean, I would even say that.
The man already threw himself under the bus. Who wrote this? Who wrote this mess? I won't call
Look,
this a letter. I call this a mess. Who wrote this mess? That
look, guys.
as former leader of the country, we know that these brazen acts of aggression are under the instruction of President Boakai. As former leaders, so
Yeah, we know. So that what he did in the past, and he thinks that that's what Mr. Barker is doing now. Now, the question that any intelligent officer will ask, or any wise person listening to him, would be, okay, you say that you know that the president said that. How can you prove what you are saying? Absolutely, he cannot prove it. All right. Then he comes by. He said early this month, similar thing happened at our party headquarters. Did we not see former EPS officers staging a protest at the CDC headquarters? The situation got under control. The police went to calm the situation down. Uh, if you are a former officer of the EPS and you want to stage a protest, do you go to the party headquarters? When the police came up, or when the police show up at the event, I mean, show up at the protest, where did the protester go? Into the party headquarters.
but the people should have gone to the what they call the EPS office to
EPS executive mentioned that where you take your protest home.
be frank. That way your former office is. So go
Yeah.
to the
Why go to CDC headquarters and stage a protest? Then when the people come, then you go by in the party
yeah,
headquarters.
you're not condemning your partisan for the
No.
nonsense they did. You agree that it must come to your party headquarters to stage a protest, and then when they start throwing stone, when they go after, then they run in your party headquarters, then you see the people uh,
Yeah.
what they call it,
The
barge,
wage on the, yeah.
yeah,
into your
mm,
compound.
But
yeah.
yeah.
Look,
And
I know
yep,
God this kind
yeah,
of thought process.
yeah,
No sense.
exactly. And that brings us to the concept of hard pursuit that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing stones, injuring people, destroying property. It's a criminal act. You don't get protection because you run into the CDC headquarters.
Yeah.
That's so I don't know what Mr. Weir is thinking about. One other point I always have made and would like to make here is that the CDC has been known historically to recruit and align itself with former warlords,
Oh yeah.
fighters, we saw it, with criminals, and now with these security people to cause disruption.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why Jefferson Koji, one of the points of sanction against Jefferson Koji by the US government is that he was recruiting former fighters and warlords and using them against opponents and to disrupt the peace of the country. One of the points against Nathaniel McGill was also that.
My brother, I was in a company with one of the recruits. They
Okay.
took them to the Todi training base.
Oh wow.
350 men.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So that
So
was before the election.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
They were
And those points were cited by the United States government for placing sanctions on those individuals for aligning with warlords, using them against political opponents, and trying to disrupt the peace of the country. And this is exactly what we are saying today. So when you bring former EPS officers into your party headquarters, you think police should not come?
No.
And when police come, then Mr. Weir, you write letter to ECOWAS, say police came
ECOWAS,
there.
yeah, the people
First
were
of all, under Liberian law, police has a responsibility to protect lives and property, including the lives of the protesters themselves. What if a fight breaks out there and people start dying? Or people start falling off because of heat? These are some of the reasons why police shows up, not necessarily just stop the protest from going on. That's one of the reasons why they say if you're gathering somewhere, there'll be a crowd, let the police know, let the justice ministry know. It's not always to say, oh, don't protest or don't demonstrate. No, it's for your own safety. What if you go demonstrate and another opposing group comes there and they start throwing stones and people start something and people get hurt? You want the police to wait until that happens before they show up? No. Their job is to be preemptive and to protect lives and property. So again, Mr. Weir missed the point. Of course, as you said, they probably didn't write this
No,
letter. So,
in fact, when we talk about
let's go
writing,
to let's go to
no forget it.
the next sentence
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
during the attack and then continue because it's just a sentence. That's not
yeah,
Yeah.
during the attack on Thursday, which was reminiscent of our troubled past, the police fired hundreds of lethal and non-lethal rounds at unarmed civilians, whose only crime, it seems, is remaining ardent supporters and sympathizers of the CDC.
continue to the next.
Okay,
Yeah.
of the CDC. Various government security agencies involved in the raid have given conflicting accounts of why it was initiated, an indication of an attempt to cover up their real motive. This is happening while civil servants who are perceived to sympathize with the CDC are being harassed and purged out of the civil service.
So he says here, uh, hundreds of lethal
Yeah.
and non-lethal.
Yeah.
Let's understand the word lethal first, because non-lethal is not threatening. But let's look at the word lethal.
Lethal is threatening.
That's what I'm saying. Now.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
looking at non-lethal. So let's look at the word lethal.
Yeah.
What would constitute lethal rounds? Rounds in the use of firearms. What
You
would
want to kill?
What would constitute a lethal rounds is actually live bullets.
Live bullets.
and no live bullet was shot.
Yeah. And the man said
Yeah.
hundreds. Right,
Hundreds.
Volcano? Where are the files? You know, George Weir, the saddest thing about Mr. Weir is that this guy is so incompetent. He doesn't read, he doesn't comprehend. And people just give him any trash and he run with it. He should have read this letter, do some critical thinking. Oh, wait now, guys, you're talking about lethal weapons fire. Hundreds. Where are the hundreds you're talking about?
Yeah,
And you just run with that?
yeah. And
And
this
you're
is a
writing, and you're writing a
for ECOWAS.
ECOWAS, oh.
yeah, a regional organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Means the way we're dissecting this letter and paying attention to key words, you think the people will not look at it as well? You
Of
think
course it will.
they're just going to leave it like that and say, "Oh yeah, we believe everything"? They're going
Yeah.
to do an investigation if they wanted to, if they thought it was necessary. But
Mhm.
it's not going to be necessary. It's not, because yeah, you were president the last 6 years. We gave you our findings and we gave you our recommendation to implement, and you chose not to. You disregard whatever we proffer to help sustain the peace.
Mhm.
We ask you to restitute. You chose not to. So at what point now you think we're really going to listen? Now they want to tie the people visit with his letter that, oh yeah, because he wrote a letter so the people keen on to meet with them. Let's stop this kind of thing, man. Let's stop this.
but
Continue
but
with the letter if you want.
Volcano, the man, even clarified. He said, "No, I didn't come because of this letter. This visit was planned ever
It was
since."
present, yeah.
Call this the spot check.
Yep,
Yeah.
The government just came to power. We get
yep,
in some time, then we can't do our spot check to see
yep,
how things are
mm,
going.
Yeah.
It just coincides, but it
yep.
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you know
You came because of your letter.
you can't you can't listen to funny things.
When when the people received the letter, they read through it. They're gonna trash the letter and say, "Oh,
So, Mr.
yeah,
We said leader
yeah,
rounds were
yeah,
used.
yeah."
He failed to produce or say the name of any human being who was hit with any lethal round.
Yeah. Mhm.
If lethal rounds were fired into his party headquarters, did he pick up any
Yeah. Where are
spent
the cells?
casings?
Yeah. Where
Where
are
are
the
the
cells?
spent casings, for example?
Yes.
If lethal rounds were fired, are there any marks or any buildings or structures in your party compound that could have been hit that you can point people to
Mhm.
say this is a lethal weapon that was
Yeah.
fired? Yeah, where the bullet hit and yeah, they didn't hit,
But
etc.
equally hundreds. You know,
Yes, and
Yes. Yes.
hundreds.
Hundreds.
How did he even arrive at hundreds?
Hundreds.
Why he didn't say thousands? Why he didn't say two or three?
Yeah.
Why he chose hundreds?
Was he there, or did the
Was he there?
CDC
Did he
send
count
people
anything
to
to hear
count?
hundreds?
Yeah. Where did the
Like
hundreds come from?
again, I think ECOWAS and Liberian people should see through these guys' intention of creating an atmosphere of chaos and intimidation in that country. The guys are
Well,
running scared, to be
the
honest.
guy,
They're running
yeah,
scared.
yeah,
They see some of the men arrested and being held for the corruption. They're scared and they want to cause disruption to intimidate people.
that's what they
That
do.
is not going to happen. If President Boakai himself pulls back from this, the pressure will pour on him. He will not be easy. He has to do the right
He
thing.
knows we campaign for him aggressively. If he makes a mistake to withdraw, oh man, he should forget it.
Do you want to continue with the letter?
yeah, go
Okay.
do that last. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let me go to that other paragraph. What is it? Oh, may we also you read that part. Um, why the CDC? Oh no, that's not. Oh, May we also draw your attention to other transgressions, including the excessive use of force against any semblance of dissent by unarmed civilians, which has resulted in several deaths. The non prosecution of election related killings that occurred on camera, the total disregard for the tenure laws of the country, even in the face of the Supreme Court rulings, political weaponization of prosecutorial powers, and the broad day violations of the procurement and other statutory laws of the country.
Yeah. So he said several partisans, right?
Yes, so
Several
he said
partisans of the,
several deaths. Yeah,
yes, several deaths.
yeah.
How are we? Do we have any video that show the number of persons that the CDC is making reference to?
But
Uh,
even Rivers Pro State Police Director Gregory Coleman said only two people so far have been
Has
killed.
there been any publication by any international media outlet that they went to JFK, they went to Cali Hospital, and they saw all these people dead? They said, "Oh, they brought them from the CDC headquarters." Hey, Mr. Weir, what made them embarrass himself all the time? Because why? He IQ so low. He made us rationalize. He says several. How can you prove them, Mr. Weir?
The man seeing shadows, Moses. The man go to sleep, can't get up. He can't sleep. He think they will come really hard, arrest him too one day for
Let's scare man. John Weir is scare man.
Let me understand. Jukwe Jile, you're asking whether we didn't see the video and you are ashamed of these deceitful Liberian talk shows. Now, what videos are you referencing? Videos of the killing of Liberians, several Liberians? Can you just send it to me? I'll play it right now.
Yeah, my man, please send the video to us.
Jile, send it to me right now and I will play it. Because I've been
Did-
looking all over the
Didn't
place.
you see the videos? How
Any
many
videos,
persons we saw
several
there?
people being killed.
Yeah,
I seen people throwing stones. I see the police firing tear gas.
yeah.
I see that happening. The people didn't even bring the hot water truck out yet. The hot water truck didn't even bring it out yet. Let's stop that kind of thing, man. Hey,
So,
this CCT, what we put ourselves in that kind of trouble for, my people?
hello, Volcano, let's educate our man first. Maybe he doesn't know the meaning of the word several. When we use several, we're talking about uncountable, mass. So if he said several deaths, where are the videos? We want to throw an open challenge to him, an open challenge to the CDC to prove us wrong. Let them send us those videos, the hospitals that they went to and grabbed those videos from. Let us see those videos. I want other guys think that they're talking to somebody down Nukutan. You're talking to people from ECOWAS. And I'm not trying to put people from Nukutan down. But the CDC stronghold is Nukutan, West Point, Slipway, um, Johnson Street, all these rundown communities. That's
Yeah, Samuel Jackson, era. So anyway,
so anyway, yeah, that was the guy that's stronghold. So let us send all those videos,
let him
showing that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let finish page 2 and then we can call it quit on that letter.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, let me go back to it. Yeah, it says several people were killed. Uh excessive use of force. That was it. Yeah, I love this other paragraph, by the way. While the CDC has ostensibly demonstrated its utmost regard for the maintenance of the hard earned peace and respect for the rule of law, as was displayed recently through a peaceful transfer of power, we refuse to sit idly by and watch these transgressions persist. Currently, following the ill-fated raid at our headquarters, the government has detained scores
Mhm.
of our
That's
partisans
the word.
and other citizens at the Monrovia Central Prison on trumped-up charges. We demand their immediate and unconditional release.
So
Few
schools.
The
The,
schools,
scores.
the
the
prison
schools of
commander,
Paris.
does not even have a
The
capacity.
president, the presidents
Monrovia
are
Central
filled.
Prison can't even hold scores of people.
Yeah.
So
So,
how do we have schools
right.
being
So,
detained?
so Volcano, right? The guys are saying schools, right? And we say school, we're talking about what? Set of 20s.
Set of
Right?
20s.
Set
Yes.
of 20s.
Yeah.
Every 20 is a school.
Mm-hmm.
So George Weah and people say schools of partisans. Mr. Weah, can you please take journalists to where those people are so we can see the schools you're talking about? Yes, it is true that few people, low key people from the CDC headquarters, were picked up, but I assume it's even less than 20 persons. So for you to say
Did you say low
schools,
key? Did you say low key? No, not low
yeah,
key.
they pick up some low key guys.
I wouldn't call them low key. Those were the stoners. Those were the one throwing
Yeah,
stones.
but that's what I'm saying. Those people that are there, staying there, they get them $100, they sleep on the floor and other things. Those are the people I'm making reference to. and that number is
But let's
lower
go back
than 20.
to that letter where he says that the smooth transition of power, as if to say you
Yeah,
hold the people country hostage
Mm,
and you lose the election.
yeah.
mhm.
What made the man think that because he conceded before the even announcement, he was wrong?
He was
That's the process of democracy. You had lost. They didn't. The other brand didn't have to come out. You already had your inside count. Everyone had representation at the counting. Am I right?
the man
Yes,
knew already that he had lost.
Your
Miss-
people right there doing the
yeah,
counting system. I mean, we can't get it.
So we
yeah,
can make
We
him, man.
lose it by 20,000. Let's
Yeah,
just
we
call it.
can.
Let's just call Georgie and tell him.
Yeah,
Georgie, look at him saying, if there's a small sheep, I mean big
yeah,
sheep. Let me
yeah.
just do it
I
quick.
mean, yes, surrender. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, yeah.
Mhm.
You won. And so don't make it seem as though you
He
did the
did a favor.
favor.
yeah.
That was the same reason why I told you, yeah,
You're right.
months ago that this man did not do the Liberian. Oh, yeah, did a good favor. Let
Volcano, yeah, absolutely. We were celebrating the man. We said, my man,
me come
what
back.
he did was very good for the peace
Yeah.
and stability.
Oh
Not the
man,
next thing that you did favor for the people.
yeah,
And it therefore thinks that he did favor for the Liberian people by stepping down, even though Liberian people clearly said they didn't want him,
Of course.
even though the requirement for being in that seat is for the people to vote for you, and the people didn't vote for him. So basically, the people are saying you are fired, and he's saying, "Oh, because the people fired me, and I didn't burn the town down, I didn't burn the office down, I left, so they
Yeah.
owe me something."
They owe you money.
I don't get that logic. But again, maybe he doesn't intend logic
No.
because maybe he doesn't possess it. That's the first thing. Because guys, you didn't do anybody a favor. And the fact that you were defeated in an election and you left doesn't mean that if you committed a crime such as stealing millions of dollars
Yeah,
from the
people
people,
shouldn't say
that you
nothing.
would not be held accountable because you were defeated in an election and you didn't burn the country down, you didn't start a war and you left. So now I'm gonna honor you and say, take the millions that you and your people stole and your go. That's not how it works, my brother. If you go somewhere and you steal, they'll hold you. That's what the law
Of
is.
course. The
And
law is
that's
the law.
exactly what is going on.
but
So no,
what is this thing about this number that they lost? The Waka won the election. What is like he say he won by landslide?
Yeah,
yeah,
you got a
Two of
landslide.
you went to the second round. Two of you went to the second round. Whoever had one vote over the other million you had,
That's it.
exactly.
one. Didn't even say 20,000. They said one.
One.
One pan.
That's
You
it.
George, we have played football. When they beat you with one goal, they
They
think
can hear you.
They're gonna have by way, especially when the score to go in injury time.
Yeah, you down, man.
now injury time because
Maybe you got less than 10 minutes to go, eh?
Moses, you can liken that to injury time.
Of
Yeah.
course,
The
yeah.
election when we played the 90 minute on October 10th.
Yeah, some
We
man
went,
kill
we
people.
went into, we went into
Injury time, yeah.
the injury time on November 14th. Was it the 14th? I think something
Yeah,
like that.
November 14, yeah.
And if I beat you with one pan, then you
It-
say, oh, they may even beat me with plenty of goals.
Let it go.
Come on, Joe. You play football. You know how you can hide.
And the thing he still can't understand is that he was literally dishing out money, throwing money at people, doing everything he could. He did not pay salary. He was not concerned about how the country was running. All he wanted was what? Re-election. Somebody came from nowhere. They may beat you. And you still say, oh, that only 20,000 votes. Hey, George William, man. Get to do some rational thinking, my brother. The people voted against you. You lost. Big time. And all these CDC folks, oh, it's less than 20,000 votes, less than 20,000 votes.
Most if we want to be hypothetical and we look at the percentage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Number of registered voters, and you take 20,000 off, that's a
Of
good chunk.
of course, 20,000.
I wanted to believe it was the 5.2 million, the so-called census they did under his regime, that everybody that voted.
Maybe
You got
that
to
what they were thinking.
ask us to think that. So 20,000 is a good chunk of voters. If you look at the percentage of registered voters. So
But
they got to move away with this foolish thought about the margin was so
yeah. So the country is divided, yeah.
yeah. The margin was so
So it's not
minimal to the
divided.
point that the country is divided. No, yeah, the people who wanted good for themselves, who wanted well for themselves, who wanted to see the country make progress, are in that number of 20,000.
Of
Mhm.
course.
And guys, you're right. The requirement for winning a presidential election in Liberia were met by President Boakai.
That's it.
As you both have said, the Constitution said in the first round, anybody who gets 50% plus one
Plus,
will win outrightly.
outright,
However, if nobody gets that, the second
simple
round then
majority.
becomes simple majority. Simple majority, you win. And in our majoritarian form of government, once you get that majority, you
That's it.
have a mandate to govern the country.
Mhm.
That is why you have the right to appoint all of your ministers and everybody in government. You don't go to the, you're not required to go to the opposition and say, oh, you got 2 million, so can let do this or do that. We don't have a power sharing arrangement. It's not like in France and other places where the Israel, where it's proportional and therefore people come to the table. We don't have that. What we have is the person who wins runs the country. So
Country,
that
yeah.
that argument about you don't have a mandate, yes, they have a mandate. They have a mandate given by the Constitution. They have a mandate given by the law in our form of government.
Yeah.
Thank you. Listen, let's go to intermission quick. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're here in the issues room, our 257th broadcast here tonight. We're looking at the letter written by the Congress for Democratic Change to ECOWAS,
You see?
Union of West African States. And we've been dissecting the letter to see what is premise and how strong this letter uh, is and what the case it going to make. But we want to remind you that the line is open right now. 404-272-2808 is the number to call. It's posted right here on the screen. Look very carefully. Call and weigh in. We want to hear from you. Again, call Moses, Volcano, Alphonso. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, and this will run till September 14th. Because on September 15th, we're gonna go one day a week, and it's gonna be every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. in Liberia. And we'll hope that you will continue to hang with us. 3 years coming up on September 14th, and the plan of the action is to go one day a week again, as I said. And this is for us to continue to talk about the Liberian people, uh, issues, the country, the sub-region, the African continent, and the diaspora. But quickly, Moses,
Mhm.
before we continue, let's just quickly give a small preview or preview or whatever you want to call it about the Aja convention that is coming up.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so just talk about the date, the venue,
Oh,
and the state, and just so before we continue.
okay. Just quickly in summary, and let me make this disclaimer. I do not speak for the leadership. The current leadership, we have an officer in charge, Mr. Joey Kennedy. He was Secretary General during the administration of Mr. P. W. Bisa. So the convention is set for October the 10th. It's going to run from the 10th through the 13th. The 13th will be on the Sunday. So the 10th, the planning committee has put together a tour of the White House in Washington, D.C. Journalists are being invited from Liberia and other parts of the world. We are told some have already gotten their visas, and others are, they have visa interviews scheduled. So we hope that they will be successful to make it here. The convention is going to be held in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Delaware Valley chapter of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, AJA, will be hosting the convention. In fact, yeah, Alfonso is a member of the convention committee. I'm sure you will provide additional information.
No, we're not discussing the whole. I just want to give,
Yeah,
please,
and then quickly,
just the date and
yeah,
yeah, that's all.
yeah. So is the 10th to the 13th. It's going to be, they're going to be on tour. There will be a guest speaker. There will be what we call the General Assembly. There will be what we call
Election.
the meet and greet. There will
Yeah.
be election. We're going to hold elections for the election of national officers. We hope to elect a new president, a new vice president, and secretary general, and the list goes on. So everything is being planned. sources within the leadership have informed me that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, J. Funati Kofa, will be the guest speaker at this year's convention. He has consented. We are told he's going to come with a high power delegation.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't expect all of that. That's with you. I just wanted you to say, "Oh, our convention will be in Philadelphia." This
Yeah,
and I
yeah, but at least,
don't
provided additional info, right?
on the line. Yes. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, Volcano is me from Livingston.
Oh, okay, Flomo, welcome.
Yeah, man, great show, great show. Look, I have one question before I can move and I can talk. Look, is CDC still a coalition or what? Because as far as I know, I think the other two political parties left the coalition, but I don't know why they still using the coalition for CDC. Look, I mean, people, like you guys said, look, a win is a win. The CDC need to realize, look. The culture of impunity has to end. Like, look, see what Nathaniel Magee just wrote the Supreme Court that he covered under the presidential immunity that he cannot be investigated because President Weah instructed him to do that. So he pretty much indicting President Weah of doing what he did. In his letter he wrote to the Supreme Court. I just want to know if a minister of state is covered under the presidential immunity. Because the reason that why Bernie Samuka was found guilty for doing the same thing he did, because he listened to what Eddie told him. And he gets Samuel Tua, who's on the run, go to the Supreme Court to pull her with everything till September 4th, they can go discuss that. Look, my only question to the Supreme Court is they shouldn't step into this thing. Let the process play out. They're jumping ahead of the criminal code procedure before they can come in to put start to it. And they have to be careful because the people are watching. They are watching the Supreme Court how they will proceed with this. I think let them wait until this guy can be investigated. Nathaniel Magee, you were just called to answer a question. Why are you nervous? Why are you running to the court that they should pull her to investigating you? Because the President Weah instructed you to do that. So you pretty much indicting President Weah into that case. So I just want to know what you guys take on that.
I'll leave it to the legal luminaries. The way they can refer to them. Thank you. Thank you.
So Miguel has a right to make any legal argument he wants to make. The Supreme Court has an obligation when these things go before them to consider them. And so that's the process. That's the legal process we have. It's frustrating sometimes. People take advantage of it. We are in America. You see how Mr. Trump is taking advantage of the legal process, take a pew here and there. Unfortunately, the legal process allows for those machinations. So that's what's going on. So I wouldn't blame the Supreme Court too much. It's doing its job. When anybody goes there and say, I have this complaint, they hear the merits, they hear the person, and then they can take action. But they have an obligation to listen. And it's after listening that they will make their decision. I don't think Mr. Miguel's argument will stand for two key reasons. Number one, he hasn't been charged of anything. They simply investigated him. They didn't even say that he committed any crime. So what are you claiming immunity from?
No, confess.
Yeah.
He's still confessing to the things he did.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people? How do you write a letter? You don't sleep on it, go back.
Yeah. So what is the don't investigate me because I was immunity. But nobody said maybe that a clerk committed the offense. Maybe the finance ministry lie on you and say you padded the payroll, and so now we're asking you questions. So we're not even holding you for anything. So what's the immunity you're seeking here? That's what my argument would be if I were on the government's legal team. That would be my first argument to Mr. Miguel. The second thing is precedence, and Moses, you mentioned it, and Volcano, you mentioned it. Former Defense Minister Brandon Samukai acted upon the orders of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Sirleaf, yeah.
He was still
Caller, please wait. I'll come to you. Just hang on there. The caller from Pennsylvania will come to you. Go ahead. Finish.
No, real quickly. The case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, no, you should have done the right thing. Once you know what right, that's what you should have done. You shouldn't have followed. So there's precedence here, and that's the point. I don't want to keep the caller on, but that's the second reason why I think Mr.
The precedent is already there.
Yeah,
so
this-
the whole thing now is moot.
Caller, caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, welcome. Your name?
Yeah, my name is Hashim Famula, calling from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, welcome, Hashim.
Okay, Hassan.
Yeah, my concern is because ECOWAS is saying that Mr. Toure is saying the president of the ECOWAS. This coming to Liberia, it's been long time in the point of him coming to visit Joseph Newman Boakai.
Hold on, my
Is
brother.
that-
Hold on for me. Let me put the next caller in queue. River says, "Pro, please stay in queue. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you." I'll come back to you. He's laughing. You're somewhere else, man. Go ahead, Hashim.
Yeah, my concern is that because the ECOWAS leader is saying that it's not because of the call that Jowiya made to them, because this was in the pipeline before he even started coming to Liberia. So my concern is why the Jowiya calling ECOWAS when he removed the chief justice illegally, and when they tell him to reinstate him, he couldn't do it, and he never paid Joe's wife just a Joe or her pension money. So why that right now he respect ECOWAS to call ECOWAS to come in? That's my question to you guys.
Thank you. I play
The man running from a shadow.
Oh, he's looking at one of those countries to see. Who's Jefferson Coach? You say all citizens should start singing asylum.
Yeah.
Let me go to River.
I'm Freeman said,
Hey, bro.
DJ Joey.
What's up, Volcano? How you doing?
My man, welcome to the famous not the rescue room. We don't rescue here. We discuss the issues.
I gotta order my another sweater. The other sweater, that nice black one I carry, my man. The people on your airport, somebody stole it. Yeah, my man. But when I came back now,
Yeah, sweater gone, my man.
yeah. Somebody asked me by the airport here in Chicago. I said, yeah, this is a big platform. I'll come in and the people stole the thing. But man, look.
So, man, what's your problem? Let's talk small. We'll get you 3 to 5 minutes. What is your problem? Because I told you in my personal, I was confused. Once and for all, who side you on? Because 1 minute you coming.
Are you for Labro or what?
No, look, I just
So what we doing wrong? Tell us. We want to know tonight. What are we doing wrong? Tell
Volcano,
us.
I always tell you, I hope you guys are higher extinct than any other. Yeah, I mean, all those other network, they are just social, but you guys are generally. I know you're not into that again. You keep saying, "Oh," but Volcano, that's part of you. I will always say it because you guys are the people that people listen to. People like Massa Washington, you and Moses, those are so. I love objectivity. So my thing is, I don't know. Maybe sometimes you can be joking, but sometimes, we have to report issue as it is.
So what would they report as it is, especially with this conversation tonight?
Okay, so the police director, I don't know, maybe I didn't follow any other section. The police director, he want to visit a family, Volcano. He want to visit the family of the deceased, and he made a statement. He said, in 2 months' time, I have been to 2 different funerals or 2 different to go and wish my condolence. Yes, to sympathize. He said, in 2 months, 2 bodies, police brutality. Like I made that statement.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that
riot. Did they have to do it?
No,
because one of the issues here, I think we talked about the police being premature, pulling his gun, and it went off. It was not perpetrated to say, "I'm going to take you by the head and shoot you in the head." It was just bad policing, and those things are accidental. It happens. But let's
in America, you have accountability. I don't care. I mean,
I'm sure that police is not walking around. I'm sure that man got this roped. I'm sure that he's going to do time.
He was fired and he was charged. And he's saying he was charged.
It's Silver 7. For me, look, I don't care about the national market. For the day that man came to America and pull your Eula people or pull your in in the national budget. He
No,
and
now you love people.
you have people. Yeah.
We don't,
No, man, what's up with that? When I know you love people, don't put it on.
I mean, I already know all of y'all. So the man pull your ordinary people
And then
suffer.
one point you not think also.
Somebody just talk to me now. That guy, he's one of the person that I don't really, I don't know. That guy, I don't know how he even became senator of Maki. It just tells you how Liberian people are so crazy. But they save us 7 for Canada. This look in America we know these things happen, but some or how many times we are not clash with our bosses. But they give us disciplinary action. Some of who work in a company that has union or organization that has union, they call you in, disciplinary action, suspension. But for Keno, you and myself, we can leave a job right now. Like the job I got right now. Sometimes I teach them, I just put up my eye, people call me. If I leave the job right now, I give you 3 days, somebody will call me. In Liberia, when these people leave, when these people lose their job, they don't. You go, you fire 7 because you said they insulted. I mean, don't get me wrong. Insulting is something wrong. I don't condone it from the Yeke Koluba and thing. But man, we're talking about a country where the people livelihoods are involved.
but let's stop there now. Let's stop there. Now you're talking to someone who's in administration. You can't work for your company and then you're insulting the very company that hired you. It's a violation of your professional policies.
Absolutely.
Professional politics with policies within the workplace, and those people are civil servants. So civil servant has rules and regulations, and even the
Code
very
of conduct.
institution itself has sub rules and regulations. So when the guy who they call, I don't know, Alpha Gray or something is going out there and insulting the president, is that freedom of speech? And you work for the very government? What has the president done to you? All because of political affiliation?
But
That
it
is
happened to
wrong.
George. We are people in America support it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Let's not.
My man,
America different from the people in
Flomo said Yeka is not a civil servant. I wanted to ask you guys. I know this is a whole different thing, but he said Flomo Livingstone on a platform. He said,
No, Yaka is not civil servant.
So yeah, I just want to know. So the representative,
separate branch of government.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good to know. I didn't know. I mean, I thought
he didn't go
Oh,
take
okay.
tests. He was not hired by the civil service.
Not part of the executive.
But that still should not justify he insulting George Weah at that time, which most people in the diaspora.
My brother, that one seen that 3 branches of government. George Weah was so cost the man back.
So River says Pro, I don't know if you're hearing me. Are you able to hear me, River says Pro?
You can hear Alphonso?
No, I can't.
Are you River says Pro? Are you able to hear me? So yeah. Okay. So here's the point I want to make.
Hold on, River says Pro. Can you hear Alfonso? He's talking.
No, I can't hear him.
Okay.
Okay. All right, he's not hearing me. So yes, but when you play, we'll play later. Hopefully,
yeah.
So River says Pro.
The show is great. I like when y'all like the last time when George Weah conceded the election. You guys say it was great.
No,
I mean, y'all had
was the one who said no. It was his obligation. The other people say, "Oh, let's law the man." Now the man using it all in ECOWAS.
So and I don't want to give up.
You know, Volcano. Finally. One thing people are not making a distinction between the cabinet general thing. I see people making posts. Oh, Volcano, if you are in Liberia, for those who are in Liberia, what started April 6th? April 6th started as a result when Charles Taylor sent people to Roosevelt Johnson compound and said he cannot have a country in a country. That's how you see the butt naked and all the funny guys.
Was he wrong?
Okay, what happened? Even if you were right, what happened?
But at the end of the day, there was no country in a country.
Okay, but how many people die?
But that's
how many people die? That's the same thing Boakai doing, sending people to CDC headquarters.
Oh no, we can't promote that, please. You don't have the evidence. You are assuming.
And the only place they get drugs of all the drugs infested neighborhood.
The vicinity. That's all we're saying.
Man,
they went within the vicinity.
It was politically motivated.
No, have you been to the CDC compound? Do you know?
Yes, I've been there.
Do you know there's a whole community back there of downtrodden masses, of people who are indigent people, but they are all in the ghettos and slums.
All the Zogos that went.
Okay, we got to look at the optics. We have to look at the optics of some things.
Optics. River says Pro. Don't be fooled, my brother. Listen.
No, I'm not.
I'm not coming here to downplay the contribution of President Weah. He did some good things, but he did more bad than he did good. I will tell you the truth. That's also
Yeah, true,
So
true.
we're not
Metal the country to the ground.
yeah, my man. Look, let's try to resurrect our country with objectivity. Now, it may come
And
across as we're picking,
yeah.
uh, cherry picking, but we're not cherry picking. The evidence are there. ECOWAS not going to do anything with this letter because
No,
this letter is even indicting himself.
of course.
He confessing.
ECOWAS will not want to
You
send
know,
another peacekeeping troop. That's why.
so
Why you think they kill immediately, even though they say, "Oh,
No,
yeah."
no, no, no.
Trust me, it
Never
has
say you're
something to
not
do with
following me.
it. They already lost Mali, they lost
Volcano carry
Burkina Faso,
pastor
they
here.
lost all those countries with the military junta. Liberia is that it's the one success story. They don't want this country to plunge into another
no, my
chaos.
man,
So
no. First of all, you even got army, so they lead that talk.
when we got peacekeeper in Mali, you say we get army. We are recognized. What you see how you can be bringing the country down, everything. What do you mean we ain't get army?
No, you're talking about military junta and all that thing. I said, you don't have the army for that. Our only army there just to make sure we there to be keeping the peace. We're not an army that
In a way, you're right.
mindset.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. When you use
yeah, yeah,
we be
yeah.
worrying
You're right. I agree with that
I
one.
was saying we got army for that thing.
So River says, Pro, I know you're not hearing me, but I just wanted to make a comment
Yeah.
about the civil servants.
To Alphonso,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
All
All
right,
right.
all right.
Thank
Go
you very
ahead.
much.
Go ahead.
I want to make a comment about the issue of the civil servants. You know, the civil servants have a right, and I think some of them have said they will exercise that right, which is to go to court and let the court test the system. So, like freedom of speech versus the code of conduct that the civil service and the other people are claiming. Let the courts be the judge in that process. That's how democracies work. So I like that. And if the court finds that these people were illegally terminated, they will be reinstated with all of their benefits. That's how it should be. Instead of taking to the streets and trying to cause trouble and cause confusion, let's go through the prescribed legal processes. And so I think that should happen. But the other point, the point you made that I wanted to talk to is the issue of attacking CDC headquarters. I don't think LDA went to such CDC headquarters. The warrant they got, they didn't even send them to CDC headquarters. It's CDC that believes that their headquarters is located in that community. Therefore, they own that community, and the government and no government and law enforcement must go there, which is wrong. You talk about how Roosevelt Johnson had a place and Taylor then went there, and that caused people to be killed, and therefore Taylor should not have gone there. Do you know what would have happened if Roosevelt Johnson people were allowed to run a country within a country? Maybe Mr. Bullitt, Judge Bullitt, would have also created a country within his country, a country, a own a place. Maybe Haji Kurban would have done that.
Yeah, would I
Maybe
create
other
that?
people would have done that. You see that we could have been going down a slippery slope by doing that, just besides the fact that that's against the law. So that's why we have law enforcement, brother.
But did you hear about the what a guy named Kuti or from Nigeria? He was trying to establish his own whatever, and the Nigerian government said not possible. You can't be a law unto yourself.
No.
They raided his compound.
I mean, no country is going to allow that.
Nikolabo Kuti or the Nigerian high life singer.
Yeah,
The
you
story's
can't do
there.
that.
So you don't come create your own enclave and demand. You're not the Vatican here. Stop it, man. You're not the Vatican. But gentlemen, listen, we're running out of time. It's 8:34 here. I want us to just focus on this small. Let's add the humor now. We've discussed the weird thing. In Jamaica, I know a lot of you are.
Oh, yeah, I've been watching that video.
I kind of put it on our page because I wanted us to laugh about it a little bit. And before we go into what type of country is this, so there's a young man, I believe he's overseas, and he's making loud noise about
America.
about being here in the States and da 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 da. So in Jamaica comes out and disputes it. So let me try to post it so we can go into that humor before. So
I don't know why some people let it
You want to bring it to be
yeah, I'm trying to get
come back here now.
the clip. I'm trying to get a clip back, and it's
Oh, okay.
It's okay. When you come back
You
here,
don't let nobody
there you
fool
go.
you in America. Let me tell you, your condition is not permanent. No matter what part of the world you have, God got plan for you. We are left in America. Let me tell you, but majority of the guys in the born and live with a mind pack.
My begin you damn laugh. You laugh too much. Continue. Come back.
See what?
Say no condition is permanent. Anywhere you are, God will bless you, or maybe God got something for you in store. Come back, like, bro. Let mosquito get you break.
Blood of Jesus.
Come back now. So you can take back yellow duffer, eat baby bucket, toss that back. I don't know why some people let us defend poverty. Are you a lawyer for poverty? Come back here now. Let me tell
Moses,
you, will
mute,
tell you with your
mute.
blessing. There are some places that are already blessed. So when you dare to get your blessing, yeah. How you be in America, you say you will not be blessed. Except you are lazy. Can't tell about the people living with their mind, living with their past. Okay, it's better to live with your mind and past in America than to live on your own in Liberia. I can only watch it begin videos. It's good. But I can tell you for free. America, now your mate in life. I just let America because America can be equal last. You get some young people who live there for 50% of their life. They're living in Liberia. By the time they travel to America, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can see their life can elevate. Things can happen for them. Things can start to change for the good. So start running your mom, my people. I won't go there. And you come here. Okay. I can be there and I be motivating you. Motivational speaker. They don't not strike you there. I don't blame the beginning. I blame my forefather. Why you think people like Ja Rule, 50 Cent, Rick Ross, like get private jet, like can pack right over your house? Jay-Z, all the black beginners, down to even Obama that became president. Why you think they acquired those opportunities? Their forefather then used their head.
You think so?
I can tell my son, I say, you see me at something today, at something so you can enjoy tomorrow. You see those black Americans? Their forefather that was the first. I'm talking about in the 19th century. They agreed. So won't go. Because it better be slave in America than be slave like bro. So they went there. All those black guys you see in America, that those states that they took for Africa, Liberia, and stuff like Ash Spring.
What?
For us, our forefather Nepal, they get sense too much. To help us, they said no. To make us acquire those kind of opportunity or maybe work today, they say no. When the people keep on the chair as a slave, is it a bad thing they put doing to them? They started running away all in the bush. See where he learn us now. Are we not staying slave? Blood of Jesus. Yeah, now stay slave finish. We stay in modern slavery. And I eat. And the first question you must ask me when you're watching video, say, your mother, have you eaten? There is no way you can convince me in any motivational quote. Okay. Say, oh, anywhere you are is better. My brother. Even if I will be in America, probably joking me with Nilo. I don't want to be crying in America. I will be passing around crying. Then they'll be laughing here. Nobody hammering me. They're hunger, suppressing me. And stuff like that. See that kind of thing happening talking there. So I won't be there. I don't even have to live with people there. You just put me in the basement. You can pack the whole thing. You just give me piece of error there. I will leave my machine. No. I think America need to take serious exception to some other kind of thing now to start taking the beginning 25 latches and stuff like that. Nah, America say they suspend all visa being now in Liberia right after the 16. I think some more about like in our 70 will go America because imagine Mr. Noble enter America at the age of 80. Right done. At the age of 80, you're left feeling already. You don't stop for you. Fire! 2-3 years, just be America, you pass. Then they take your body back, and that one will hear you. When they take your body again, say they bring it back to Liberia. I will stand up in that casket. God. Come on, America, drop through. They want to take the body and bring it to Liberia. Blood of Jesus. Maybe they put gray and then fan like that. You be moving. Pour your heart. You want that? Hey, I want to be there. Come here. Man. So mosquito can do a surgery on you. So you can see how I looking. You not see him be laying in mosquito there, get a goalkeeper. Come back. Don't be there. Be motivating us. Send a motivational quote. Don't mind it. I will mind all of them. Every pilot in America, you better.
Corona go America, say you don't know. Corona go as I speak right now. Before you accuse us, Corona went 16 times. But if you make go back inside, go back not 18 times before daybreak. So nobody more come for you. Play more. I start recording. Lord of Jesus, start recording.
So, I mean, you know, I thought the laughter there, but the reality is the reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Mhm.
There is no comparison. There's no comparison. So when people are saying these things because you're here, what you do with yourself anywhere in the world is important for your growth.
The gap is huge.
And of course, America surpasses every nation on this earth when it comes to opportunities. I would say that for a fact. I don't care what people think. I mean, I've never lived in other parts of the world, but I think that America is able to assimilate and is able to provide opportunity. It's just the matter of you applying yourself, being humble, take advantage of the opportunity as it unfolds, and do right by the system.
Yeah.
So, since you've been here, has Corin gone? This is 16 times just before he was at 16.
It's 16 now. Yeah, you know, except you have inclement weather.
So what type of country is this that there's no stable electricity?
Yeah, man.
What type of country?
I mean, take for example, like say someone who lives in rural Liberia, say, or hypothetically Bapulu, and they were born 30 years ago. All you have seen is lantern. It's a sad situation.
And the world has evolved
Oh yeah.
so magnificently to the point that people are still caught off
Mhm.
civilization. What type of country is this?
Yeah,
That
that
a
is
former
future.
president who did not listen to the very body,
Mhm.
brought peace,
Mhm.
all their finance, their blood, their sweat, death, meaning ECOWAS, and all that is, you know, did for Liberia during the heyday of our war. And he didn't listen to them, but at the same people now he's writing letters complaining.
For intervention.
What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that the president,
Former.
the former president told ECOWAS that the police wounded scores of
No,
CDC.
This is several.
Yeah, no, they use the word scores again of their partisans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says scores of their partisans.
No, hundreds of bullets, right? Hundreds of
No,
lives.
they fire hundreds of bullets and scores of CDC partisans were wounded and hospitalized. Now, ECOWAS said, but my man, where now? What that video? Then he said, oh, but you ain't see it.
But
the
somebody,
Mr. President, where's the video?
But there was somebody on here who also asked us if we didn't see the video.
Yeah.
Jilly.
That's CDC, man, you know, so.
But you can hear the man named Jukba Jilly.
They're from the East Coast, but Southeast of it.
So all Jukba Jilly, and then Jukba,
that's there for Grand Crew.
I did well with pronouncing the menu.
No, you did well. You did well.
Yeah,
I'm all from Grand Crew.
It could, Moses, it could be a woman too now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm also from Grand Crew.
What made you buy Jire to kind of never answer of a video?
And they seen that refusing to get all their own video.
Asking you for another video, you say, I'm gonna get you out.
Whatever country is this? When the LACC say, my man, you can't help us to provide clarification. He say, oh no, I got presidential immunity.
So Brinko, your car would ask me, I gave immunity.
They said, but my man, we not charge you with anything. Just come and see.
No, no, you know what? First day the man went there, he put a lot of people behind him. The first day, also he went inside the jail. He said, and I went back over there again.
Let Nathaniel McGill strip to the LACC as we are stripped to the CIA headquarters.
Yeah, the CIA headquarters.
Similar.
But CIA, they kept the guy. How many hours they kept the guy inside there?
I'm gonna use the Byron the police.
The back outside, he said nothing. He said nothing.
And then second Colasco just going up and down the people, hallway. Then what happened? He say, slow. I call it what? Play low, Fina. Play low.
They know that the cash our man was still on there. They know that they will not release him. He's not coming outside.
You're going up and down. Allah. But what is he? Is he honor his man? Is he not schizophrenic? Allah, the major woman, man. If he hallucinated, you said something must be wrong.
I said, let's go for the president. How do we just keep the man inside there? No way.
Walk up to the door, then the security guy asking, where are you going? Man, you step aside.
And when the boy says step aside,
and then when I enter the people room, they say, where are you going, son? Oh, I came with the president, man. You step aside, man.
Step aside. We know where you are. Who are you? Step aside.
Yeah, man. Your man telling you not play low.
Play low.
Now, you hear how the man just talk to me? Play low, man. Make you play low.
Play low.
Our man inside there.
Man, you're sweating, my man.
So let's come back to McGill now. So he go to LSC. Then now he confessing. He said that we have told me to do it.
Yeah.
And I see Lord they use on the guy. What a boy name.
Brandon
Samugai.
Brandon Samugai.
Yeah, Brandon said the president told me, oh no, we're not listening to you. You're on your own.
But the funny thing with McGill on a defense, he not saying I get immunity. Don't investigate me. He said I acted upon orders.
Yeah,
I was acting upon orders. Really?
Yeah.
I made a nothing indicting yourself.
Throw him under the bus.
And I want people don't want to accept.
Yeah.
Because there's so much wrong.
Yeah.
That when they're being held accountable, then the ordinary people jumping the street who are hungry.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Just go and grab our sister there,
Let's go to Thomas Awachi. What type of country is this? Where you can sleep at the party headquarters?
Yeah.
Very important point, because our raid took place like what? 3, 4 in the morning, and those men were still in the party headquarters and jumped out of the
And look at
that house in the apartment in our place.
Yeah, they say man feels a 2-bedroom there.
Yeah, the man sleeps there.
Now he gotta leave. William Toucher, what type of country is this?
Yeah.
Several ghosts from CDC payroll was shot and killed at the CDC headquarters. You know what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, ghosts from CDC payroll were shot and killed at the CDC headquarters. Wow.
I think that the figurative expression here is the ghost.
Yeah.
That one hunting then yeah.
No. That they're claiming that people die, and so
okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So maybe the people they had on payroll that then were killed. So now they can't show their up.
Yeah. This man bring the video now.
What country is this? The CDC said they were attacked with grenades, but there are no damages to the building.
Yeah. And the people said the people use lethal weapons.
Hundreds of lethal weapons, according to
we
former
can't see the
President.
bullet holes.
Hundreds.
Yeah, but Joe, you are said to now. The people say, but gee, where are the videos?
Yeah.
The ECOWAS guys will say we keen to help you get an understanding of your situation, but can you just give us copies of those videos?
Yeah.
They say, Seku,
It's a Chiante video. Chiante video.
some of me all that thing now going on. You won't take picture.
Chiante video.
So, coach, you ain't got no video?
It's nothing. Oh, it's see,
See the
you're not
winter video.
embarrassing
They put something in our eyeball so we couldn't see also winter video.
Yeah, the tag guy, oh, chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out winter video.
It's about my man who wrote the speech that I read now. They say, oh, that is party chairman. Oh, you see that man, he full of trouble. How am I going to explain this again? Because the thing the man wrote are so live.
The ECOWAS man said, okay, Mr. President, you said several lethal weapons were fired. Do you have any evidence? Can you name some of the lethal weapons that were fired? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. But
the people told me, say, hey, man.
Yeah.
Then the ECOWAS gun and said scratching their ear. He said, I don't bother here again.
Well, the guy gave me a hard time.
Yeah, our president now say that.
Whatever country is this? Andrew Jackson, because a former Chief Justice Association with an opposition political standard bearer, she gets implicated in a murder case with no evidence.
Yeah, whatever country is this?
Thomas Awaji, where the speaker and party members were stoned by his own militants.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important point because when they spill into the street and start throwing rocks, ECOWAS stop and say, "You stop! You go back in your fence! You go back in your fence!" And they started attacking him.
Attacking the man, and people then had to wake him up. So you see, Mr. Weah made a significant mistake because what the guys going to do, they will just go online and download all those videos that are out there on Facebook and saying, they said, but Mr. President, is this man your speaker?
Yes. Let me hear it.
This other man here, he be speaker for Liberia, right? He said, yes. Oh, and this man, he for what? CDC? He said, yes.
These young guys.
Yeah, all these boys, they chunk out. So you say now the government tell the people say they shoot. But we not see nobody they shoot here. But this man is from your party, right? He say, yeah. I say, but now you got something now to tell us. Because we not see nothing. Only your people would they see they chunk the people, they chunk them.
Your own speaker.
Your own speaker, they chunk out. And you say, well, the government they do something? Mr. President, this one now you do now is difficult. Why you they tell us so? Man, Joey, the man brought ultra yourself because I know when I got married today, that discussion wasn't easy. So, man, the math not adding up.
Whatever country is this? Amar Freeman. When the older women showed up to stop them from rioting, they also got stoned.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Is that what happened? Because one CDC man said it was the police that pushed the woman out of the way and started firing tear gas.
I mean, you know, the guys were always.
Yeah, they always tell these untrue stories.
Can you imagine? People showing the community to enforce the laws, and people just decide to become law unto themselves. Somebody wrong with it. They begin to attack us.
So what do you think they would tell Weah at the end of the day, ECOWAS? And I want you to do it the Nigerian way.
Because they say, Mr. President, he said, yeah. Now this one we could talk. He said, yeah, you ready? He said, yeah, me, I'm ready now. This matter you don't bring. We don't check. We not see no video. You say the people that they shoot, that they shoot gun. Yes, you said that, right? You say, yeah. Now you bring the video because we now they see nothing. You say the people they kill your people, right? You say yes. Where the video? Say cool. Then the people say that one day it be hard, oh. So that one let's take on for the table now because that one you not get a video, right? You say yes. Then you say yeah. Then they put that one inside. Then you say, oh, the people they come here and at the beginning part of the month, they attack my party headquarters. Then they say, Mr. President, he said, that Monday for that picture where they go up and down, he say in the former security man, right? He say, yeah. Then why they go for your party headquarters now? What you they do What you they do about that? He said, oh no, the next guy said, no. These people they be security people now. When they go for your party, every day they come for your party. Why?
Mhm.
So that one there, Mr. President, let's take that one from the matter now and put it out here.
So the man,
So that put that one in you see too right there.
then you say,
Yeah.
Then let's go to the schools. The schools.
Yeah, that's good, man. You see?
Mr. President, do you know
Yeah,
what school
yeah,
is?
yeah, you go ahead with that one.
Mr. President, Mr. Jawia,
Yeah,
can you tell what the meaning?
about
What is the
school.
meaning of the word school, sir?
it mean plenty people.
Plenty of people they say, oh, so when you say plenty, what do you mean, sir? You mean 2, you mean 3 or 4? No, well, I just said school, man. You go ask
Yeah.
Janga Ko, the chairman, that he the one wrote the thing. He didn't tell me the meaning of school.
So you know what did they he say, Mr. President, and he say, yeah. So what did they call school? Then he turn around to Janga, my man. So what I'm gonna tell the people now?
What it called school?
Then Janga said, but you know, tell the people. He say, hey man, my man, you probably think about you. So what I'm gonna tell the people?
You can't bring me in front of the people here to come make me shame. You wrote a letter, then you don't want to. Like, oh,
Yeah, man, you know the meaning of the word school, man.
yeah, let's go.
Whatever country is there.
The leading party had opportunities to audit the existing government but refused. Now the same party comes back to power and auditing you. You say, remember, I never say you all or harass you. What country is this?
Yeah.
Me Vezo.
I didn't order you. Why you auditing me? I
Yeah.
thought we all supposed to kind of just stay and go.
So all of our hand in the cookies jar.
Yeah, yeah.
Things ought to be susu by
Yeah.
my own, right?
Yeah, that's Susu
Yeah.
leadership we're looking for you.
So that no born get it, man, can pay.
That thing I'm making, we are fair, my man. He said, well, you know, I didn't order the Unity Party people. So when I do my own, though, that tells me in the program, he said, damn, they probably power. They probably real.
Because you know, all my other man say,
Yeah,
you what telling you.
we're telling you, we still want to lead it.
Yeah, peacemaker. You see, I want the people coming to you now. You see, Twitter coming by, I see.
Try to run away.
Yeah, you see, Maggie not sleeping to your house, oh.
But you know what?
Already finished calling you.
Yeah. And
Maggie
you know
call
what?
you Neo G.
Trumpet, Africa, man, we are too scared. Hey, Trumpet, a bad newspaper. They said they heard, they said they went raid, we are house.
The Jamaica resort, eh?
Yeah, the post they said they went raid all the man homes and all everything. Said.
The ones that gotta run to ECOWAS.
He ran to ECOWAS straight, run like
He said the people want country. The people want country. All my brothers, oh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's 9 o'clock.
Sure, yeah.
I was here this night. By the grace of God, we'll be back here on Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Actually, Friday. I'm thinking today is Friday anyway. We'll be back here this Friday.
I won't be here Friday. Wakey.
All right, we'll see what happens with the panel.
Yeah.
But again, thank you everyone for coming. It was a pleasure having all of you here. Emmanuel Jackson, thank you. Flomo Livingstone, Hashim Fambule, Rivers S Pro, for your continued viewership. Amma Freeman, Jugba Jre, come back again. Oh, man, female don't run from us. Shirt, thank you. The boy using German name Wilhelm. Your Montro Mensa, Asidu Mensa. Where's your Montro Kringa?
Yeah.
That's your Montro. And Ophelia Yango, thank you for joining us here tonight. Selmon Dwapu, it was a pleasure having you in the house here tonight. Thank you, Selmon, for coming through here tonight. Rivers says Pro, again, as I said. Raymond Clark, thank you. As Edward Nefor, good to see you, my brother. It's been a while. Thank you for coming back. Trying to go down this list. A lot of folks here. It's picking up on some of the newer folks. It's just one person I'm trying to catch up with. Manisuma, of course. Priscilla Myers.
Yeah.
It was good seeing you. Thank you all. And we'll be back here again on Friday, God's willing. Good night. Alphonso, Moses, 257th broadcast. It was good having all of you.
Good night. Good night, guys.
Good conversation.